It is Monday, December the 5th, 2022. Good morning. I'm Pearson Bowen. This is the CBC Morning Report. The first Vice President of the Association of Caribbean Media Workers wants government to speed up its review of the proposed Freedom of Information Act so that it can be included in the new Constitution of Barbados. Emmanuel Joseph was speaking last evening on The People's Business on the topic, the role of journalism in a new republic.
There is the Freedom of Information Act in draft right now, and it is before the present government. But the present government has promised to enact legislation, freedom of information. But we are into a second term now, and we are still to see that happening. So where we need to go from here, in the new constitution, we need to have that we need to have that bill enacted. It needs to come before Parliament before the end of this term.
Well, also on the program was CBC's talk show host Peter Wickham, who highlighted another major issue for regional media workers as operating in too small a market. He suggests there isn't enough money to go around in countries like Barbados.
We need to move away from a situation where really only in Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica do you have a large commercial space in which media houses can be paid for advertising and so on to generate CNN-style type journalism, as distinct from places like us in the Caribbean, where the media pie is so small, the amount of money that the media shares. You basically find that you have media houses scrambling for a few dollars, and journalists not being well paid, and as a result, the cream is normally taken by agencies that can afford to retain that level of talent. So I think that that's really where the issue is more critical, and less about the fact that you have legislative impediments to people practicing good journalism. We have a problem in Barbados, but the problem in the OECS, I think, is considerably worse because the space is smaller, and as a result, the journalistic arrangements are even more challenging. You have journalism being practiced by people. You have one person who is producing news and sports and music and everything. In some instances, media houses being run into somebody's bedroom, and that is the nature of the deal in some of the OECS countries. It's pretty bad. So that to me is the bigger challenge.
Meanwhile, Mr. Joseph, who is also the General Secretary of the Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers, has also called for a media literacy campaign to be launched. He contends people need to have more respect for the profession.
People can get to appreciate the role of the media, what we really are up against, what our job is, what our role is, and our role is so critical. It impacts the everyday lives of people in so many different ways. So that going forward under a new republic, I would like to see more respect, more recognition and acceptance of the media fraternity as a professional body, right? Just like all the other professions who are considered elite and so on. So we need that bill. We need that people to actually accept us as that kind of profession. But at the same time, we ourselves need to show respect for ourselves. So there has to be some internal assessment and re-examination of ourselves so that we can help chart that way forward.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, the latest estimated cost for rebuilding Ukraine set at $1 trillion.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Matchback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team...
With the war in Ukraine continuing, the Ukrainian government's latest estimated cost of a full rebuild of the country stands at $1 trillion. The Red Cross has assisted with these efforts. However, they admit it will not be enough.
We were sitting in the kitchen. We never expected that we'd be bombed. I was sitting in front of the window when the explosion threw me to the floor. I don't remember much after then, but after that I fled to the forest.
It was April before she returned to pick up the pieces. Zalisia, her village northeast of Kiev, saw fierce fighting as Russian troops tried and failed to take Ukraine's capital.
Can you imagine? All the roof was damaged, the windows, the doors. Thank God the walls were still standing, and the Red Cross helped us to repair the roof. But there are people who lost everything.
The estimated cost of rebuilding Ukraine keeps spiralling upwards. In September, the World Bank said it was $350 billion. A month ago, Ukraine's government guessed $750 billion. Now, President Zelensky is saying $1 trillion. Non-governmental organisations like the International Committee of the Red Cross have some money to help, but it's millions, not billions.
Of course, we can't help all of people here, so we focus on the most vulnerable population here. So it's big families with many children and people with low income, mostly elderly people, and also people with disabilities.
Their cash handouts can be used for whatever repairs are most pressing, but snow and ice have brought most building work to a standstill, so new registerees like Zineda might have to wait until spring. Winter is not an abstract concept, particularly during wartime, whereas in the warmer months you'd probably be okay living in a building like this with blown out windows or a damaged roof. When the temperature plummets, such conditions really take their toll. Metal cabins house some whose homes are uninhabitable, but their mains powered, so in the frequent blackouts they quickly become refrigerators. Valentina is trying to stay positive.
It could be worse compared to our boys in the trenches. They're freezing. I keep active during the day, but last night it was a bit scary when the lights went off. I put on my hat, my hood. The electricity was off from 1 until 9 p.m.
But winter has only just begun. It's going to feel like a very, very long one indeed.
And the price cap on seaborne Russian oil in response to the war in Ukraine takes effect from today, despite Russia's insistence that it will continue to supply oil to buyers. While supportive of the move, the Ukrainian government is advocating for more severe punishments to be implemented against Russia.
Ukraine has been calling since the beginning of the Russian invasion for a complete embargo on all Russia's energy products, whether that be oil or gas, whether that be seaborne or piped. So an oil cap, a price cap on Russian seaborne oil, you can see that from the Ukrainian perspective, it doesn't go far enough. Andrei Yermak, who is President Zelensky's chief of staff, essentially, has said that that price cap would have to be $30 a barrel, half the agreed price cap that's been announced, to be able to destroy or degrade Russia's economy faster. But he says that it doesn't really matter because in a bullish statement, Ukraine is defeating Russia on the battlefield, and ultimately, whether the price cap is $60, $30 or a complete embargo, as Ukraine would ultimately like, Ukraine, according to the government, is still going to defeat the Russians and still going to repel the invasion.
Rory, Kyiv isn't the only one wanting a low cap on oil. What are other Western nations saying and what's needed from them?
Well, yeah, I mean, the negotiations, of course, within the G7, within the EU, have been fairly protracted. They've been talking about this sort of measure for quite a while and working out how they're going to get to it. Now, Ukraine has a particularly staunch supporter in the EU in the shape of Poland. There's also the Baltic countries as well. But Poland particularly was essentially holding out on this agreement because it thought that it didn't go far enough either. Poland was arguing that there should be a lower cap and there should also be a mechanism in that deal to keep the price of Russian seaborne oil below the market price at all times. And it has, I think, got that. There is a mechanism within the deal to basically maintain the price paid for Russian seaborne crude at least 5% below the market price. So that, of course, is cheering for the Ukrainians. And I think the Ukrainians know that realistically a complete embargo on Russian energy products is not likely. What they will be enthused by when they look at all this is that, yes, this might not be as much as they wanted, but it still shows that they have significant Western support. It still shows that even as this war is almost certainly going to be dragging into its second year, and even though there is a significant inflationary pressure that the war has brought to bear on economies around the world, and even though the cost of supplying Ukraine with sophisticated weaponry, all of those are high, the support seems to be unwavering at the moment. It's still there, and that will be a big cheer to the government in Kyiv.
Coming up this morning on Morning Barbados, the new notes. That's right. What are they about and how secure are they? The Central Bank of Barbados will join us as we take a look at the new notes soon to be in circulation from today. Bringing it home with BARP, the big concert is on, and we'll get the details when BARP joins us in just a little while. Also, there's a new series of short courses being offered by the Barbados Community College. We'll share those short courses with you and how and when you can register to be a part of it. All that and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 on Morning Barbados. This is the CBC Morning Report. We're back after this.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
Before you click, be a chance, think before you click. Don't forget now, before you spread wrong information. Think before you click, just stop and think. Think before you click.
Chapel Land number 1 in St. Philip was one of the hardest hit communities yesterday by heavy flash flooding predicted by the Met Office. Videos shared by Ronaldo Sargent showed water gushing by the Gullyside Bar where residents commonly gather for functions. He told CBC News he had never seen anything like that in the over 35 years he'd been living there in that community. According to Mr. Sargent, the heavy showers began around 2 in the afternoon, hours after the Met Office had issued a flash flood watch for the country. Met officials had predicted showers would spread across the island with accumulations of up to 1 to 2 inches in moderate to heavy showers. Barbados' new series of banknotes is in circulation from today. The Central Bank of Barbados first announced the new series in April this year. At the time, it revealed that in addition to getting a design overhaul, the new notes will be made of polymer rather than the traditional cotton-based paper substrate. And in May, the bank unveiled the new designs. Governor of the Central Bank, Cleviston Haynes, says the possibility of counterfeiting the notes is low.
This represents the culmination of more than 2 years of research and collaboration with our longtime banknote printers, Delarue, to develop an attractive, modern, secure banknote series. Our objectives from the outset of the project were clear. First, the notes had to be highly secure to ensure that the level of counterfeiting in Barbados continues to be low, and so that Barbadians can use them with confidence. Second, the notes had to be highly durable and last longer in circulation. We are confident we have achieved these goals. The notes contain security features that are harder to simulate, but easier for people to authenticate so that you can check them quickly as you go about your business.
Well, the bank has begun to issue the notes to commercial banks, and they'll make them available to customers through ATMs and at the counter, but it will likely be a few weeks before everyone gets one in their hand. There's no need to be concerned if you don't get some immediately. The older notes remain legal tender. Barbadians will soon have their passports processed online as part of the digital transformation program underway at the Immigration Department. Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Wilfred Abrams, made the revelation as he delivered the feature address at the Barbados Immigration and Passport Department's Staff Appreciation Ceremony. Rashid Best reports.
The employees and officials have been celebrating amid reports efficiency at the Immigration Department has increased significantly. Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams is pleased with the improvement of a number of key service delivery statistics. One example, he notes, is the reduction of the processing time for citizenship and permanent residence status. According to him, Barbadians can expect a further improvement in customer service and efficiency as the government continues its digital transformation agenda.
A. Barbados' first cultural passport has been designed by the BID and is projected to be ready for issuance in January 2023. It is also estimated that later in 2023, the citizens of Barbados will be able to submit and pay for passport applications online. The e-visa application being designed, developed and operationalized. C. Online processing of applications to include citizenship, student visas, work permits, extensions, etc. D. The integration of the online ED forms and the kiosks. And E. An electronic document and records management system.
Minister Abrams believes an efficient immigration department improves the ease of doing business in Barbados. He says efforts have also been made to improve customer service experience at the department.
They were trained on how to prepare for and appreciate a thriving tourist season. A change of perspective on how to use soft skills to enhance our tourism product and to facilitate ease of doing business revolutionized the department's delivery of service excellence. Special attention was placed on how to relate to the differently abled and how to use emotional intelligence to counter challenging issues.
Staff and stakeholders were treated to a musical selection by saxophonist Daniel Harvey as they were lauded for their outstanding work. The ceremony also featured members of staff and the minister being awarded for their diligent work. Rashid Best, CBC News.
Government is revealing more plans to introduce child protection legislation. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey addressed the issue at the National HIV/AIDS Commission's service at the Bank Hall Nazarene Church on Sunday. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The new legislation being proposed comes as government stresses its commitment to the fight against HIV and AIDS. Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey insists government cannot do it alone.
We sat down to do a number of things. Before the end of next year, we will have child protection legislation for the first time in Barbados. We're going to have legislation that treats to the elderly. We're going to have legislation that treats to the disabled. And we're going to amalgamate social services to make it better to serve people. But this is a lot of work with very few hands. If the PM were here, she would say, many hands make light work. And so we need to be able to do so through partnership And I do hope we can have the partnerships with all the persons who are in this place, because this is such an important work for us.
The minister says there's a role for the church, but it will take more than prayer alone.
And I feel this has to be a practical conversation. It does not serve any of us to believe that if we do not speak about the way our society has changed, the way people have changed, that if we can only speak about a particular group or in a particular way, that by avoiding the reality of things, that we will save lives. In fact, we do ourselves and we do those who need our help a disservice. We came to help the most vulnerable. And when we also took this oath, all of us, we said we were going to help all people. And I feel it is there that we have to begin when we have this conversation. We need to have an age-appropriate, culturally appropriate conversation around prevention in a way that makes sense, in a way that people receive, and in a way that does not turn off people.
Acting Director of the National HIV/AIDS Commission, Lynn Armstrong, says other initiatives are being planned.
Awareness is big on our program. We have a man-aware intervention that is up and running, and we want to reinvigorate in the new year in time for International Day of the Woman, our Speak Sister program, which is one of the first projects that the National HIV/AIDS would have done years ago. And we kind of put that on hold based on budget and whatnot. But the plan is that we will reinvigorate that in the new year.
The National HIV/AIDS Commission is also receiving donations to help with its outreach efforts for the Christmas season. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Guyana has come in for praise from the European Union for its attempts to peacefully resolve the territorial border controversy with neighboring Venezuela. Caracas has claimed more than half of Guyana's territory. EU Ambassador to Guyana, René Van Ness, says Guyana is a party involved in an issue similar to that which caused the Russia-Ukraine war. However, he notes instead of approaching the border controversy with violence and war, the issue has been taken to the International Court of Justice.
Now that those borders are being disputed, Guyana chooses the path of finding a peaceful resolution under international law through the International Court of Justice. And that's why I'm really proud to see every day that the European Union is more united than ever in supporting Ukraine. And we can only have that support and continue that support if we have the support of like-minded countries in the world, like Guyana.
In Jamaica, after a stone-throwing incident at a primary school, the Ministry of Education there has demanded a full report. The minister sees the behavior as unacceptable, as we hear from TVJ.
The Education Ministry says it's deeply disturbed by a video of a male student hurling stones into a classroom, reportedly at another. The incident happened at the Homestead Primary and Infant School in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Minister Favour Williams says the behavior of the child must not be condoned.
It was the worst thing I could see on the video, a child picking up a stone and just, multiple times. It tells us that we're at a place that is not good.
The video triggered hundreds of comments on various social media platforms, questioning the level of anger and rage being displayed by the student in full view of a teacher. However, of concern too is the response of the same teacher who, according to the minister, did not do enough to secure her safety and the safety of the students in the classroom.
That was not acceptable behavior of a student, going outside, picking up stone, throwing stone. At the same time as well, just by the evidence in that video, and I tend to wait until I get reports, because sometimes these videos don't give you the totality of the situation. But I felt as well that the teacher had a responsibility to manage that situation better, rather than just videoing the situation. That, anybody looking at that could say, no, this is not the kind of professional behavior that we expect from our teachers.
The tactics of the government in El Salvador are being criticized by human rights groups as they continue their crackdown on gangs in the country. The latest development is 10,000 troops being deployed to a suburb outside of the capital city to boost crime efforts there.
It's usually a no-go area for police, but now people living in the gang stronghold of Soyapango outside El Salvador's capital are sealed in. Security forces are preparing to go door to door rounding up gang members. But police say ordinary members of the public shouldn't be afraid.
We are extracting all criminals who may be hiding here in the municipality of Soyapango. We are here to guarantee the security of the honest, hard-working population.
Close to 60,000 people have been arrested since President Nayib Bukele declared a state of emergency in March. But rights groups accuse the government of being heavy-handed. Activists say young men are being wrongly targeted for how they look and for living in gang-controlled slums. The government denies this.
We have been planning this military siege very carefully here in Soyapango to affect the honest population as little as possible. There are 40 strategic points where we are working to arrest gang members who are in the communities, according to intelligence information.
President Bukele's state of emergency grants police powers to make arrests without due process. And a recent survey found that 75% of Salvadorans approve of the hardline measures. Gangs effectively controlled vast swathes of territory and extorted money from businesses. In the run-up to the state of emergency, dozens of people were killed in a single weekend of gang violence. But activists warn innocent people are being caught up in the mass arrests and not receiving basic legal rights.
In sports now, the Windies women went down by 132 runs in their first one-day international against England women last night at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium in North Sound, Antigua. Opting to field first, the Windies women couldn't restrict the English women as the visitors posted 307 for 7 off their 50 overs. Nat Skyver top scored with 90 and Danny Wyatt added 68, while Chanel Henry took 3 for 59 to be the most successful Windies bowler. Well, the Windies in reply were dismissed for 165 in 40.3 overs. Kaisia Knight top scored with 39, inclusive of 4 fours, while skipper Hayley Matthews and Rashada Williams each added 34. Off-spinner Charlie Dean took 4 for 35. Game 2 in this 3-match series is tomorrow, another day-night fixture from 2 p.m. again at North Sound Ground in Antigua. Here's a look at forecast conditions now as recorded earlier at the Met Office of the Grantley Adams International Airport. At the moment, look at that temperature, 22.5 degrees Celsius in Barbados, beautiful. The barometric pressure is 1009 millibars. Want to head to the sea today? I expect a low tide around 25 minutes to 8 this morning, the second around 8:30 this evening, and a high tide should come around 14 minutes to 2 this afternoon. The seas are moderate in open water, swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters and increasing, so sea bathers, you should exercise caution along the northern and western coasts. In the forecast for Barbados today, a mix of sunshine and clouds with a few localized showers towards the afternoon, while for tonight it will be mostly clear. And now we'll look at forecast conditions for some international cities. Before we go, we want to let you know that CBC TV8 will broadcast live the arrival of Cuba's president to Barbados, Cuba's President Miguel Diaz-Canel, at around 11:45 this morning. So stay with us for live coverage of his arrival here in Barbados. That's it for today's edition of the CBC Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good
Hi there and good morning everyone. Welcome to Monday the 5th of December 2022. My name is Pearson Bowen. I'm so glad that you can join me yet again on Morning Barbados. Good morning to all of you watching us on our streams on Facebook and on YouTube. Always grateful for your company. Continue to interact with us right there in that space. Coming up this morning on Morning Barbados, another chance for someone to win with us in our What You Gonna Give Me for Christmas competition. Now, I keep imploring you to turn on your cell phones, be by the phone when we call, and answer the phone correctly for a chance to win something really delightful this morning in our What You Gonna Give Me for Christmas competition. Also today, the Christmas potluck and staff gatherings. We love them at this time of year, but what should we be very mindful of? Our food technologist will share with us some of the things we need to pay closer attention to today. We're looking today at children's rights, and at this particular time of year, how do we avoid exploitation of those rights? And we'll also share with you an opportunity, a charitable event when you can lend your assistance to supporting the work. And Faith Marshall Harris will join us to tell us more about that. Don't blame the dog. If you heard that, what would you think about immediately? Well, the author of the book, Don't Blame the Dog, will join us here on Morning Barbados today as we take a look through the pages, and perhaps we can all glean and learn a whole lot from those words as well. There are a new series of short courses being offered by the Barbados Community College. You need to know what those are and how you can be a part of it as we all seek to further develop ourselves. The BARP will join us this morning as BARP is bringing it home. Once again, that big concert is on. When is it? Where will it be? And how can you be a part? The details are straight ahead. Let's get started though by taking a look at the new bank notes in circulation from today. I have some. They're only specimen. Can't spend a cent of them, but they feel really good in the hand. Joining us to take a look at them and a whole lot more is Octavia Gibson, who is the Director of Currency and Payments Oversight with the Central Bank of Barbados. Ms. Gibson, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados.
Thank you for joining us. These new notes go into circulation from today. And as you can see, you can obviously right through them right away. They're totally different from what we're accustomed. Why the change now?
I think it's kind of overdue. Every 5 to 7 years, central banks around the world look at their banknotes, look at the security features, look at what is happening in the rest of the currency world, and based on that, they make the decision to change the features of the notes. We thought the last time we did a change was 2013. This is 2022. So you will see that we are well within the range 5 to 7 years.
But we've gone polymer as opposed to what we used before. So what's the value in going to the polymer notes? Which are these?
More durable, more secure, and that's the trend in the banknotes world these days.
What I've noticed is I can't fold them and it stays folded. It just pops right back out straight. You know how we in Barbados, we love to take our money and fold it very neatly. So is that all? Why aren't the polymer feature, I suppose, is why that is. But does that mean longevity and in terms of security as well?
Exactly. Longevity. It means it saves us our money, so we don't have to keep ordering notes every year. So we are encouraging Barbadians not to fold the notes, not to ball them up, because some people have a theory that if you ball up the notes and then you let it go and they come out straight, that is genuine. That is not a way to authenticate your banknotes.
No, I'm feeling the notes as well, and there's a change in feelings across the notes. So talk to us a little bit about that, because for instance, I'm holding the $5 note in my hand. This $5 note, when I run my finger over just beneath that 5, I feel something different. What's that about?
Well, okay, we work with the Blind Association to ensure that the notes were useful for them as well. The last time we did that was 2013. But we discovered, and in talking to them, that as the notes became older in circulation, they were not able to feel the feature. Now, polymer, you're able to do it in a better way, and the feature will last as long as the notes last. So that is an improvement in that. And you will see if you put your finger, close your eyes and place your finger by the same raised features that you were talking about just now, you should feel something like a triangle.
Yes.
Exactly. So each banknote has a different symbol so that you know which denomination it is. And we've heard some horror stories from the blind and visually impaired about persons tricking them or trying to trick them by saying one denomination, especially they might give them a lower denomination back when they know very well that they had given them a higher denomination and should get back more change.
Indeed, this is fantastic. And you know, a part of what banks generally go through is mutilated notes. People tend to cut them, tear them, whatever the case may be. Does this polymer use, reduce that element of mutilated notes?
We're hoping so, but persons like to, I don't know if it's like to, but sometimes they forget that they have notes in their pockets when they go to wash them. With the polymer note, they only should come out cleaner. But if there is a nick on the note, it means that it is easier for that note then to be torn. So we are asking persons to be very careful in using your banknotes. We know you have to use them on a daily basis, but make sure that you're caring for them. It saves the country money, and it saves us having to go back to place new orders. And I'm sure that our central bank board would be happy that we're not coming back to them too regularly to get money to buy banknotes.
Yes.
So carry your notes.
Oh, indeed, it's important. Now, over the years, we've grown accustomed to holding the note in the air. You'll put it to some light, or you're looking for the security features and the like. Would that be a feature of the new notes, the polymer notes as well?
Yes. Now, Pearson, you had an opportunity to feel, touch, tilt, and look at your banknotes. Apart from the feature for the blind, what else did you notice?
I've noticed, first of all, that the image is no longer to the side, it's right across the note, so it's horizontal, horizontal is the word? Yes, it's lateral vertical. Now. Thank you so much. It's not vertical. Right, that's one. But there's a change in texture as well as I use my fingers across the note, not just at the $2, well, the amount area. There's this see-through piece here that I'm so fascinated about right away.
Okay, hold it up to the light and tell me what you're seeing.
On this $2 note, for instance, I'm seeing the windmill. What looks to be like the windmill.
Okay.
Good. On the $5 note, I have to be careful with this one because it will mess up by the technology we do. I see some, let's like a judicial building. The $10 note, that's the bridge. That's the what bridge right here outside of the CBC. Yeah. The $20 note, what's this? That's the Parliament building. Am I right so far? Because
you got one wrong so far.
I got one wrong? Okay. All right.
Go back to the $10.
The $10 one?
Yeah.
The $10 note. Is that the what bridge?
No.
So what is it? It's a Charles Duncan O'Neill bridge in Bridgetown. Right. Yes, I see it there. The words are already there too. So I came now to the 20. In the 20, the Parliament building, the 50, the Arrow notes, all are still the same color, by the way. This is the Independence Square. In Bridgetown, you got me reading the words, I'm not looking for the image now. And on the $100 note, the Grantley Adams International Airport. And are these part of the security features? Or are these just beautiful and aesthetic?
Well, they're part of the security features. They're also part of the design. And what we have done is captured what was there from 2013. That is ensuring that the image at the back of the note reflects the person on the front. For example, in the two, you told me that you saw a windmill. Right. And yes, you are correct. The person on the front was an agronomist and was responsible for ensuring that the Barbados sugarcane crop was, that the sugarcane of itself was improved. So that is why we use the windmill, which in those days, persons, well, not persons, the actual, we have sugar factories now with different technologies, but the windmill was used very much so in the making of sugar. We have one active windmill in Barbados now, and actually that is a picture of the Morgan Lewis windmill that is on the back of the note.
This is so wonderful. You know, everybody on social media already say, wow, they can't wait to have it in their hands already. But hold on, folks, it's going to happen at your ATMs and over the counter as well. But this is such a wonderful history lesson for children as well, all part of the civics education. Yes. You know, as you look at the notes, you get a chance to explore the history and talk up the story of the history as well. This is brilliant. This is really good work from the Central Bank of Barbados in circulation from today.
If you, do you have a UV light close by?
No, I don't. No, I don't. But if I did...
Okay, well, make sure you get one today before those notes are returned. At the back of the notes, you will notice when you put your UV light that there is a verse or a line, more a line than a verse, of the Barbados National Anthem on each note. We wanted these notes to be truly Bajan, and as someone on the team said, Bajan to the bone. Right? So it has, the notes have all of the different emblems. You will see the trident, the map of Barbados, the anthem, right? And we thought that that in itself was truly Bajan to the bone. So no one looking at these notes can mistake them for notes from Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana. These are Bajan notes.
Yes, you just use the term Bajan to the bone, which is the name of our morning show on 94.7 FM. And you're absolutely right. I feel so proud as a Barbadian to be able to know that our central bank has been able to move us to the point where we have these brilliant notes embedded with all of these lovely features that represent who we are. And so from today, these are going to be in circulation from ATMs and across the counter as well, but it'll take some time to get there. But the current notes remain legal tender, correct?
Correct. You did your homework.
I did indeed. And over time, you know, those will be phased out and these new notes will be the only thing in circulation. Now, there's some who are going to ask the question, you know, we've moved now in technology to a stage where we're using cards and we're using other methods of movement of money. Why do we still bother to have actual notes in our hands? What would you say?
The statistics speak for us. The notes that are, there's still a great demand for banknotes, especially when there's no electricity, when there's a problem with the cards, cash always comes out on top. And as we say, cash is king, and even if it isn't king anymore, it might be queen. We're trying to ensure that if banknotes, if and when banknotes are needed, that the central bank has done its job in ensuring that we have secured banknotes that will be useful, that they will be secure, and that they will be durable. So we're making sure that the notes are there when you need them, along with your other digital devices, etc.
These are brilliant. The work is fantastic. I really want to thank you so much, Octavia. I'm sure that if anyone has any further questions, particularly vendors and the like who want to be a lot clearer on anything, they can go to your website to know more?
They can go to the website to know more, and if they're still not satisfied, we do provide free training.
That's fantastic to know. Free training. So just contact the central bank, indeed, and they'll be happy to help you. But I have There's the only specimen. But nonetheless, I can't wait. I feel like going to the ATM right now to be able to go and get my notes as well. But the beautiful things, folks, look at this. Look at this very carefully. We've placed all of these notes next to each other for a reason. 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. And tell me what you see. Something has come to the fore. What do you see? What do you see? Should I open the phone line now, production crew? Let's see if people are very sharp. Call us right now, 43228-5562 or 228-5563. The phones are already ringing. What do you see? There's something very special that comes to light when we place them in order like this. What do you see right now? Let's see how sharp a Barbadian you truly are. 228-5562. 228-5563. What do you see now that these brand new polymer notes are placed one next to the other? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. I can't
Hi. What do you see?
I can't hear what you see.
What do you see? All right. You're a bit noisy there. Let's see. First, turn your TV down so you don't get confused right there. Let's see if we take another call. Good morning. 228-5562 or 63, the numbers to call quickly. Octavia's right there to make sure you're right. What do you see? We placed all of these notes next to each other in a particular order. They're running in chronological order. Let us know what it is that you see. Some image has popped up right there. Can you see it? And if you can see it, identify it right now. Right now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if we get a caller on the line quickly. Our production crew is working hard to screen them to make sure it's all right. Good morning. Hello. Hi, what do you see? Quickly.
Map of Barbados.
You sure?
Yes, please.
Well done. Your eyes are sharp. Octavia, well done indeed. When you place them in order like that, you see the image of the shape of the map of Barbados. This is great work, great thought has gone into all of this. To your team, we say thank you. And congratulations on all the work that you've done there, Octavia. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Pearson. I'll be sure to tell them.
Yes, please. Alrighty there. Octavia Gibson, who is the Director of Currency and Payment Oversight with the Central Bank of Barbados. The new polymer notes, folks, go into circulation from today at ATMs and over the counter as well. It'll take some time, but the current notes are still legal tender. So don't throw the older notes away. Just be patient as it begins to circulate. And then these are all yours. Octavia, you wanted to say something else?
Yes. Actually, we are dealing with our staff and retirees today. Remember, we are Bajan to the bone, so home drums speak first.
All right.
So from tomorrow, the banks will get, and each day a different bank will get their notes. So just hold on a bit, and I'm sure that you will get them. And we are asking businesses to remember that the older notes are still legal tender, not just the 2013, but the 2007, right back to 1973 notes are still legal tender, including the $1 bill.
So when is First Caribbean going to get theirs?
You need to speak to First Caribbean.
I want to be one of the first at the ATM or so to get mine. But thank you, Octavia. Thank you so very much indeed. All the best.
Okay, thank you very much, Pearson.
All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. This is so exciting, Barbados. A change in time. And, you know, a stitch in time saves 9. Well, we can't wait to get our hands on the new polymer notes that are in circulation, as Octavia says, from tomorrow. But from today, their retirees and current staff will begin to have theirs in their purses and wallets. Take a look at this as we go to break.
The 2022 banknote series is the first generation of Barbadian banknotes printed on polymer, a plastic material that is non-porous and tear-resistant, keeping the notes looking newer for longer and extending their lifespan. Several elements of the notes have been retained for continuity. They feature the same historic Barbadians, John Redmond Bevell, Sir Frank Worrell, the Right Excellent Charles Duncan O'Neill, the Right Excellent Samuel Jackman Prescott, the Right Excellent Errol Barrow, and the Right Excellent Sir Grantley Adams, although the portrait of Sir Frank Worrell will now show him in his cricket uniform. The colors are also largely the same. but the hues have been adjusted to increase the contrast between denominations for the benefit of the visually impaired. Visually impaired and fully blind people will also have the option to use tactile marks that will make it possible for them to differentiate easily between denominations. The choice of shapes was determined after consultation with the blind and visually impaired community. One immediately obvious change in the notes is that the design is now vertical rather than horizontal. This new portrait-style orientation allows for a fresh interpretation of the vignettes featured on the back of the notes. Although the main images continue to be related to the people featured on the front of the notes, the perspectives have changed. The back of the $20, for example, features a different angle of Barbados's historic Parliament buildings, and the image of the 3Ws oval, found on the $5 note, is now superimposed with the image of Sir Frank Worrell at the crease. The most significant changes, however, are those that have been added to make the notes harder to counterfeit. The new substrate, in addition to being more durable, allows for strong, easy-to-use security features to be incorporated. Polymer is actually transparent, and an area at the bottom of each note has been left uncoated, creating a see-through window. On lower denominations, the $2, $5, and $10, the window contains a smaller version of the image featured on the back, which, when tilted, has an iridescent sheen. On the higher denominations, the $20, $50, and $100, the vignette images have been reproduced as holograms that catch the light brilliantly. Among the other security features are a small broken trident at the top right of each note that, when held up to the light, reveals the note's denomination. Elsewhere on the note, other broken tridents light up under ultraviolet light. Viewing the notes under UV light also calls attention to other elements of the design, including highlighting lines of the national anthem that have been printed on the back of each denomination. The overall effect is a banknote series that is attractive, modern, and unquestionably Barbadian, with security features that are harder to simulate but easy to authenticate. Stand secure against counterfeiting with Barbados's 2022 Polymer Banknote Series.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.tv, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur,
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
BARP invites you to BARP's big Christmas concert, Bring It Home with BARP. The Christmas concert. Joining us to talk a little bit more about the event is the president of BARP herself, Marilyn Rice-Bowen. Good morning to you, Marilyn.
Good morning, Pearson, and good morning to Barbados as well.
Good to see you again. Looking all smart and snazzy as always.
It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Have a joy every time. All right, so
Yes.
Bring It Home with Christmas, the concert. This is one event that everybody looks forward to every year. When is it?
It's going to be Thursday, the 8th of December, and this year we'll return to a physical concert. You will recall last year we held a virtual concert, and that attracted over 12,000 viewers. So this year we are back in Bridgetown. We are going to Bridgetown. We'll be at Golden Square. Starts at 6 p.m. And we're asking everybody to come to the Golden Square. Bring your chairs, bring your children, grandchildren, and come and enjoy the music of the Barbados Police Band. They'll also be entertained by RPB, Mikey, Biggie Irie, and Cheyenne. And we have a special guest performer, a
Mm-hmm.
special guest, not releasing it until the night. And our MCs for the evening will be Rum and Coke.
Oh, nice.
So yes, we are happy that we can come out again, and therefore we encouraging our members to come out and enjoy the feeling of Christmas in Golden Square.
Literally in the city. In the city. You're taking Christmas to the
In the
city.
city.
Normally it would have been at
Yes.
Hastings Rocks, but it's going to be in the city now, folks, at Golden Square Freedom Park is where it's going to be this Thursday. This Thursday. Don't think December 8th or you think, oh, that's some time away. It's really this Thursday. Today's the 5th.
Thursday, yeah, this week.
Thursday. Beginning at 6 in the evening. No, I love your cast. Your lineup is amazing. You know, of course, the Barbados Police Service Band. We know that's world class and the like. But Chian is going to be there, which is great.
Exactly. And young talent, you know, so we're going to, I'll be hearing Chian for the first time.
Yeah.
But when we were told about Chian, you know, Belle and working on the show, and she said Chian, and she sent me a piece. I said, yeah, we must have her because we need to expose our young people.
Yes.
And she is indeed very talented. And so there'll be a blend between Chian and RPB, you know.
Yes,
so
yes.
The music is in good hands. The future is good in music.
And this big concert is also in good hands as well. Now, normally is it absolutely free? And if so, how? If not, how can we be a part of it?
Absolutely free. It's absolutely free.
Yes.
BARP bringing it home for Christmas. We have sponsors. I can share. Can I share the list of my sponsors?
Sure.
Okay. Our title sponsor is Wine World. Other sponsors are City of Bridgetown, Courtesy Garage, Sagicor Life, Lynch Insurance Brokers, Trident Insurance, Beacon Insurance, Hansel and Republic Bank. And if you are in corporate business and you haven't heard your name, you can also contact us at BARP as we seek to strengthen this presentation to not bringing it home for Christmas, but to let Barbadians. Whenever you think about Christmas, people think about ham, turkey, and all that. But you know what is really Christmas? The police band.
Yes.
You cannot have Christmas without the police band.
Playing some of our Christmas favorites as well, and that's what's going to be so beautiful about Thursday. It's going to be quite a moment as you sit as a group, you sit as family, you sit as friends, and together you enjoy the music of the season, performed by the Barbados Police Service Band, performed by RPB, he's going to bring his Maisie, performed by Biggie Irie, performed by Mikey, performed by Chian, and a very special surprise as well, which we can't wait to find out.
Very special surprise, Barbados. And we have lots of giveaways as well.
Yes. So every good reason. Put on your Christmas glad rags and come down looking smart and snazzy, right?
And Pearson, for those persons working in the city, just, don't wait to go home. Just bring your flat shoes and stroll over to Golden Square so you can join BARP as well as we present Bringing It Home with BARP for Christmas.
Indeed. So it begins at 6 in the evening, everybody. 6 o'clock in the evening, sharp. When BARP starts, Rum and Coke will lead the charge. They will bring it all together. But of course, you're going to be there to enjoy all of this together. This is not for seniors alone. This is for all of Barbados. BARP brings it home for everyone, every age, every stage of life. You can be a part of it on Thursday, beginning at 6 p.m. This Thursday at Golden Square Freedom Park. Now you know the date, you know the time, you know the location. We want to see you there. In other words, right, Marlene?
We'll be looking for each and every one.
Absolutely so. Indeed. From CBC, we want to wish you and your organization at BARP, I know you had a very busy weekend there in one of the malls. I overheard a conversation you were having. And so we from CBC want to thank you for the business you've shared with us all through the year. And we really, truly want to wish you the very, very best for the coming years. And as you continue to really broaden the services of BARP and the great work that your team is doing there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pearson. That is so sweet of you. Thank you very much. We do enjoy working with the CBC as well.
Yes.
So let's into 2023, let us strengthen the partnership.
Amen. Now, a question came from one of our viewers. Will it be streamed live?
Yes, it will be. We'll share the details on that
Later.
later on in the week. Later in the week, we'll just send it to. We'll
Yes.
send it out. It will be stream live because we do recognize that not all of our members can come out, but those of you who can come out, meet us in the square, Golden Square, on Thursday evening.
See, excitement building already for this girl. Thank you, Marlene. All the best to you and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you very much indeed. Morning, Barbados. Don't forget, we bring it home with BARP this Thursday at 6 o'clock. Golden Square Freedom Park is where it's going to be, featuring the Barbados Police Service Band. RPB, Mikey will be there, Biggie Irie too, Chian, Rum and Coke, the MCs, and there's going to be a very special surprise which you need to be there for. Details on its streaming will be shared a little later on, but Thursday, 6 o'clock in town, Golden Square. A break, and when we come back, we'll bring you the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 3 minutes after 7 o'clock now. We begin with the news that 2 men were shot and injured in a shooting last evening. Police say that incident occurred near to the bath facility at Browns Beach in Bridgetown. CBC was informed that both men were taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for medical attention. Investigations are ongoing. The first Vice President of the Association of Caribbean Media Workers wants government to speed up its review of the proposed Freedom of Information Act so that it can be included in the new Constitution of Barbados. Emmanuel Joseph was speaking last evening on CBC's current affairs program, The People's Business, on the topic, the role of journalism in a new republic.
There is the Freedom of Information Act in draft right now, and it is before the present government. But the present government has promised to enact legislation, freedom of information. But we are into a second term now, and we are still to see that happening. So where we need to go from here, in the new constitution, we need to have that we need to have that bill enacted. But it needs to come before Parliament before the end of this term.
Well, also on that program was CBC's talk show host Peter Wickham, who highlighted another major issue for regional media workers as operating in a too small a market. He suggests there just isn't enough money to go around in countries like Barbados.
We need to move away from a situation where really only in Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica do you have a large commercial space in which media houses can be paid for advertising and so on to generate CNN-style type journalism, as distinct from places like us in the Caribbean, where the media pie is so small, the amount of money that the media shares. You basically find that you have media houses scrambling for a few dollars, and journalists not being well paid, and as a result, the cream is normally taken by agencies that can afford to retain that level of talent. So I think that that's really where the issue is more critical, and less about the fact that you have legislative impediments to people practicing good journalism. We have a problem in Barbados, but the problem in the OECS, I think, is considerably worse because the space is smaller, and as a result, the journalistic arrangements are even more challenging. You have journalism being practiced by people. You have one person who is producing news and sports and music and everything. In some instances, media houses being run to somebody's bedroom, and that is the nature of the deal in some of the OECS countries. It's pretty bad. So that to me is the bigger challenge.
Meanwhile, Mr. Joseph, who is also the General Secretary of the Barbados Association of Journalists and Media Workers, also called for a media literacy campaign to be launched. He contends people need to have more respect for the profession.
People can get to appreciate the role of the media, what we really are up against, what our job is, what our role is, and our role is so critical. It impacts the everyday lives of people in so many different ways. So that going forward under a new republic, I would like to see more respect, more recognition and acceptance of the media fraternity as a professional body, right? Just like all the other professions who are considered elite and so on. So we need that bill. We need that people to actually accept us as that kind of profession. But at the same time, we ourselves need to show respect for ourselves. So there has to be some internal assessment and re-examination of ourselves so that we can help chart that way forward.
Chapel Land number 1 in St. Philip was one of the hardest hit communities yesterday by heavy flash flooding predicted by the Met Office. Videos shared by Reynaldo Sargent showed water gushing by the Gullyside Bar where residents commonly gather for functions. He told CBC News he had never seen anything like that in his over 35 years living there. According to Mr. Sargent, the heavy showers began around 2 in the afternoon, hours after the Met Office had issued a flash flood watch for the country. Met officials had predicted showers would spread across the island with accumulations of up to 2 inches in moderate to heavy showers. Barbados' new series of banknotes is in circulation from today. The Central Bank of Barbados first announced the new series in April this year. At the time, it revealed that in addition to getting the design overhaul, the new notes will be made of polymer rather than the traditional cotton-based paper substrate. And in May, the bank unveiled the new designs. Governor of the Central Bank, Cleverson Haynes, says the possibility of counterfeiting the bank notes is low.
This represents the culmination of more than 2 years of research and collaboration with our longtime banknote printers, Delarue, to develop an attractive, modern, secure banknote series. Our objectives from the outset of the project were clear. First, the notes had to be highly secure to ensure that the level of counterfeiting in Barbados continues to be low, and so that Barbadians can use them with confidence. Second, the notes had to be highly durable and last longer in circulation. We are confident we have achieved these goals. The notes contain security features that are harder to simulate, but easier for people to authenticate so that you can check them quickly as you go about your business.
Well, the bank has begun to issue the notes to commercial banks and they'll make them available to their customers through ATMs and at the counter, but it will likely be a few weeks before everyone gets their hand on theirs. There is no need to be concerned if you don't get some immediately. The older notes will remain legal tender. That's our news at this time. We'll take a break here and Morning Barbados continues in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for our new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
When disaster threatens, it is comforting to know there's a team working to deliver credible, comprehensive, and up-to-date information. A team that is committed to serving you. A team that will be there before, during, and after the disaster. That is Team CBC, here for you this hurricane season.
Think before you click. Agents, think before you click. Don't forget now. Before you spread wrong information, think before you click. Just stop and think. Think before you click. BBS. Think before you click. If you can't confirm the source of the information, think before you click. When friends send news to your phone, check the source or leave it alone. Cause people creating fake news to deceive you and confuse. Alright now, accident broadcast on WhatsApp. Check yourself, don't forward that. Have respect. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 11 and a half minutes now after 7 o'clock this morning. Great news. The Barbados Community College is offering a series of short courses to upskill you in so many different areas. And joining us this morning to take a look a little bit more about what is being offered is Jomo Phillips and Makeda Hart. Jomo is a social work coordinator with the Division of General and Continuing Education. Makeda Hart is the Assistant Registrar Examinations. Good morning, both of you.
Hi, good morning, person.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
Good to have you. But Kid, let's start with you. Let's look at the series of short courses on offer. Why and what courses are on offer?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Boyne, for inviting the Barbados Community College first and foremost onto the show. And I just want the general public and our prospective students to know that we have rolled out approximately 17 to 18 short courses to our catalog. And at this moment, if persons are interested in enrolling, they can enroll into coding and robotics, introduction to web page design, business computer repairs fundamentals, which will be offered through our Division of Computer Studies. We are also rolling out criminology, occupational health and safety. That will be done through our industry services unit. We also will be rolling out digital marketing through the Division of Commerce, where students then will be exposed to understanding the history and emerging trends of digital marketing. They would be taught how to use different social media platforms and websites to build awareness and drive the sale of products and services. They would also be able to demonstrate how email marketing is implemented, designed, and measured. And that will be offered through our Division of Commerce. With regards to the Health Sciences Division, persons can enroll into our EMT course, which will be the Emergency Medical Technician course. Students here will be exposed to a series of applied learning where they will be able to train in controlling life-threatening situations. They would also be exposed to stabilizing non-life-threatening situations, as well as using non-medical skills such as driving, maintaining supplies within this course. Now, the last one that I will mention before Dr. Phillips comes on is the digital storytelling that will be done through the Division of General Education. And with this particular program, students will be exposed to script writing. They will be exposed to treatments, capturing video and audio, and editing visual products. All of these courses will be done on a blended format, which will be some will be done face-to-face as well as online. These courses will be done for a duration of 3 months, with the exception of the EMT, which will be done for 3.5 months. And I want to also mention that these courses will be starting the 6th of January of 2023. So the registration process is happening now. So we want to invite persons to physically come to the campus, our main campus located in Erie, and they can come to the office of the registrar to collect a registration form. And our registration will end on the 6th of January. But for the EMT courses, that one will run until the 9th of December. And the classes will officially begin January 24th. Now, I know that I just touch briefly on what is being offered. There are a plethora of courses being offered, like I mentioned, 17 to 18. So for persons interested in finding out a bit more, they can visit our website, which will be www.bcc.edu.bb, or you can simply Google the Barbados Community College. Go to our website. They can look under the section what's happening, and they will see all the short courses that are being offered, as well as they can also ascertain a bit more information with regards to our bachelor programs, certificate programs, associate degrees, and diplomas. All right, so that is just a snippet of what is being offered. So now I will turn over to my colleague, Dr. Phillips, to speak.
Before you turn back to me, I will turn to him in just a moment. Now, I just want to be sure, Makeda, because it's all well and good to be doing a course, but at the end of it, there has to be some level of certification. What can you say to us about that?
Okay, so all the participants, students enrolled, will receive a certificate which will be certified by the Barbados Community College, because we are a certifying body. So at the end, one of the good things too is that with the digital marketing course, let's say if a student would be interested in enrolling into one of our associate degree programs, those certificates can act as advanced standing, where they would be given the exemption from particular courses within the program. So they will be certified at the end with our certificates, from the Barbados Community College. So all interested parties will receive, all participants will receive a certificate.
Wonderful. Now, Jomo, yours is a course called Trauma. Trauma-informed practice. What's that about?
That's a whole movement in terms of just sort of mental health services and health services. Particularly in the last 10 years, we are very much more aware of the fact that a lot of people who access services, both in mental health and physical health, have experienced trauma, and that we want to be responsive to those people who have experienced trauma. To be making sure that people are safe, and also that we're not re-traumatizing in terms of providing services.
So it's open to the lay practitioner. I have no knowledge at all of this, so I can actually take this course.
Of course, it's open to the general public. We're also, of course, encouraging people who are already working in mental health and social services and health services to also be able to come and do the course as well, too. Just as a fill-up to their skills, just as a fill-up to their education. But trauma affects everybody in the community. Many of us have experienced a traumatic situation, so that includes in our families, in our communities, and just being more trauma sensitive is something that we can all benefit from.
And so yours is also a 3-month course. And so at the end of this 3-month course, we should be at a level of competency to be able to assist those who find themselves challenged with their emotions.
Yep. So we are going to expose people to just our understanding of what trauma is, but also some frameworks in terms of being able to help people to be able to understand trauma, and to also create an environment where people don't feel like they're re-traumatized as they experience services.
Will yours also be one of those hybrid courses, part online, part in person, or is it an in-person course?
Yes, it's hybrid, it's blended.
Mm-hmm. So folks, his is called Trauma-Informed Practice. How do you deal with it? How do you recognize when there's a traumatic situation, and how then do you manage it going forward indeed. And it's all part of the series of short courses being offered by the Barbados Community College. To know more, go to the website bcc.edu.bb, and under the tab called What's Happening, that's where you find more information about the courses indeed and how you can register. Registration will close early in January. Courses will begin shortly thereafter. And Makeda, back to you. Is there a cost to registration, or is there a cost to the course?
Well, there's no cost to the registration. There will be a cost to the courses. So again, that information will be supplied on the website. For interested parties, they can go there. I believe that the information has been updated by now. So there will be a cost to the courses, right? So all that information will be available on the website.
Mm-hmm. All right, I want to thank both of you for joining us. I hope many people avail themselves of the offers being made by the Barbados Community College in this series of short courses, which begin in January, run for about 3 months, 3.5 is the longest, and certainly at the end of it all, you'll be certified in the many disciplines that are being offered as well. Jomo Phillips and Makeda Hart from the Barbados Community College, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us. Yep.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for having
You're welcome
us.
indeed. Don't blame the dog. What's that about? We'll talk about it right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm fine. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Check. Something quickly, just say the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
You guys fine.
Hello.
It's 22 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Oftentimes we blame the dog for everything. The dog ate my homework. It was the dog that did this. It was always the dog. But in this book that I'm going to share with you now, it says don't blame the dog, because oftentimes the poor little man's best friend gets the rough end of the butt. And so joining me this morning to talk a little bit more about what this book means and represents is the author himself, Richard Thomas. Mr. Thomas, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome indeed. What's this book about, Don't Blame the Dog?
Well, the title's taken from a story in it, but basically I wanted to pull together some information for people coming into the public relations profession, or even those in it, to say, look, this is its real purpose. If you come into a profession and you don't know the real purpose, somebody else will define it for you.
Yes.
And frankly, that is what has happened to public relations in Barbados. Now, I include in public relations what I call corporate communication, because corporate communication is the communication function within PR. So I wanted to put down my thoughts. It's not intended to be a textbook. I don't know what textbooks are being used by our tertiary institutions, but it represents my very deeply held opinions, extremely opinionated, about what this thing is about and how we should do it. The other thing that I wanted to do was to flag some issues that I see are still very persistent in our profession and holding us back from becoming the kind of strategic tool in management that it should be. I guess, and at the end of the day, I think that public relations has been very narrowly defined in Barbados as meaning publicity and promotion.
Yes.
Which says, hey, it's a marketing function. And I will go to my grave saying, no, it's not a marketing function. It has a different purpose. Share the tools, we're very similar. I guess to sum it up, let me use an analogy and say that as far as I'm concerned, on the communication highway, PR needs its own lane. If all of the communication put out by an organization goes down the marketing lane, there's a danger of bias that comes out.
Yes.
You know, you're looking at consumers, fine, but there are other stakeholder groups that an organization has to deal with, and that's where PR comes in. It's not looking to sell anything. It's looking to establish credibility, build trust, gain support. There are a whole bunch of other stakeholders, from government to investors and employees. And the employee audience is very dear to my heart. So one of the issues in the book is we need to do it better.
Indeed so.
And another issue is on corporate writing, because I honestly believe that our practitioners need to spend more time at the craft end.
Yes.
They really need to be good at the craft. Look, communication goes in, it's either through here or through here or through here and here at the same time. Well, maybe somebody would say the nose, you know, my grandmother's cookies when she's baking them, but corporate communication goes in through there, and you need to know how to shape messages for the ear and the eye. And you're in broadcast, you know that you don't write the same way for broadcast that you do for printed press.
Yes.
All of this is craft. And there's also what I call the lack of modesty that I see creeping into our profession. People claiming titles on LinkedIn that are extraordinary. Real estate agent, airline pilot. It goes. It's absurd, and I think we need to stop doing that. I know we're trying to build an image out there for our business, but reputation takes longer. And I think our profession needs to restore some modesty if we want to gain some respect in the corporate sector. That's the big obstacle, is getting corporate Barbados to say, hey, these PR people are serious, and they do need their own lane. But PR people are going to have to make that argument.
Indeed so.
They're going to have to make that argument to senior management.
It's a very easy book to read. I've started to read it, so I get it right away. And immediately you see yourself and see some of the errors that you make over time in seeking to assist your organization, but sometimes you're doing damage to it. When you insert yourself almost into the story by finding yourself before the camera as opposed to behind the camera. One of the things you said when you sat here this morning is, I'm usually behind the camera. I'm often the one in front of the camera, simply because that's the role of the PR person.
I believe that you work behind the scenes. Yes, we all want to be known, but it goes back to reputation. I don't think that a public relations person should get in between the camera and his client or employer. You're supposed to be, you can advise and so forth, but we should work behind the scenes. And I talk in here about get rid of I, me, and my.
Yes.
Because I see a lot of this in the press, people writing in as social commentators, and we have more of them than we have journalists. I, me, and my, and what I said 2 months ago, and I saying, you know what, stick to the issue. If you want credibility, and credibility is the holy grail in this game, stop talking about yourself. Get out of this story. I don't want to hear about you. Stick to the issue. And even the best columnists in the world, you won't see them using I, me, and my all the time. Yes. Rarely. It's very egotistical.
Indeed. You've broken the book down in a couple of sections. Employee communication, corporate writing, and then other stuff, as you term it. Why do you think you needed to break it down like this?
Well, these are the issues that I want. Employee communication, I wanted to draw attention to that because we talk a whole bunch of stuff in Barbados about employee engagement.
Yes.
You ain't getting anybody engaged if you don't communicate with people. And it's not enough just to give them operational information. I sent you an email on what to do and how to do it. And everybody says, why? I say, why? That's beyond your pay grade. I mean, I give you an example. I work for a bakery, and we make jam puffs, and I'm a fantastic jam puff maker. And I leave work on Friday. I come back on Monday, the jam puff line has been shut down. I'm told you're making rock cakes now.
Right.
So I got, well, when was this decision made? Sunday night?
Yes, yes.
No, it was made 2 months ago. But nobody has said to the employees, here is why. We need to know why, because I need to be able to connect my workplace with the marketplace. The idea that this is, I know, information is too difficult for employees to digest, I don't buy into that. Some people don't care. But a lot of employees who see a future of the firm want to know, where are you going? Why are we doing this? So employee communication to me it's where I started 40 years ago.
Yes.
And I believe that if you communicate well with employees, you will communicate well with people outside, because you will have to tell the truth. This is one group of people up whose, you know what, smoke you cannot blow.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So if you get into the habit of being open and candid in your communication with your people, chances are you'll do it with your other stakeholders. So that's kind of why I feel it's so important.
You talked a lot about, too, of the role of the marketing officer versus the PR person, and particularly as it relates to corporate writing. And sometimes we get it quite wrong where corporate writing is concerned. As a practitioner in the industry for many years, talk to us a little bit about what the book, what kinds of guidance can the book share?
Well, my advice to people who come into corporate writing is to understand the tone. Tone is everything sometimes. And when I read the paper and I see these preposterously propagandistic press releases, I know it's been written by a marketer.
Yes.
Sorry, marketers, you have a very important job to do. But you can't be allowed to influence all of the communication coming out. Good corporate writers, I tell you, when I did my postgraduate degree in journalism, I asked one of my professors, who was a very high-up editor in the Globe and Mail in Toronto. And I said to her, what is really good writing? And she said, really good writing is when it's so good no one notices. I have never forgotten that. In other words, it's not ego-driven. It's service-oriented. But you need to learn the craft. And the best way I can describe it is use short sentences, short paragraphs. It's the craft end. And the truth is that people coming out of journalism have a great advantage over the ordinary person coming into. You can have an MBA or whatever it is, but if you don't understand the inverted pyramid of news writing, you're going to struggle with a press release, and you're going to struggle with anything beyond posting on social media. How do you write a thought leadership piece? How do you write a speech? If you're really going to be a professional corporate writer, you need to be able to move between these skills. And to understand some fundamentals about how to structure communication, but you cannot go over the top with what I would call gilding the lily. It's not about you.
It really
you
truly
can't
isn't.
show off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta take your ego and say, no. I'm not here to show off my writing skills. I'm here to get information on behalf of my organization into the minds of people in a persuasive manner. But when I say persuade, I don't mean mislead.
That's right.
Okay? Communication should lead, not mislead. You don't have to lie. Mark Twain said, if you don't lie, you don't have to, or if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.
That's right. You don't have to have a good memory.
Okay.
This is the book, folks. It's called Don't Blame the Dog. The author is right here with me. His name is Richard Thomas. Richard, where can we get copies of this? Because there's students of public relations that need to know.
Well, it's at Days, it's at Cloisters. Barbados Museum Shop has it, and UE Bookstore at Cave Hill has it.
Right.
Or they can contact me, and I'll arrange for them to get it. But it's easy to read.
Yes.
It's short. It is opinionated, but I stand by my opinion, with apologies to the marketing folks. I've done marketing communication. Every PR person ends up doing it.
Yes.
But I honestly think that the profession needs to stand up and say to management, no, don't put that out. It makes you, it's not believable. And I've been through this. I've worked with firms where I've had to say, look, don't hire me if you want me to just take dictation. If I think you're wrong, I'm going to tell you. Because you have to test the credibility of this information. And you have to have loyalty to your audience, not just to your client.
That's right. Got to leave it there, Richard. But thank you so much. And I really wish you the very best with this. Folks, it's called Don't Blame the Dog. I commend it to you. It's really easy reading, but it's very full of information and inspiration, as well. As a matter of fact, you begin to see yourself almost looking into the mirror at your faults. And when you do, you want to make the changes that you think are absolutely critical to making. Thank you the best, and all the best going forward.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.
It's been
My
a pleasure
indeed. Morning Barbados takes a break. We're coming back in just a moment.
Think before you click, pigeons. Think before you click. Don't forget now. Before you spread wrong information, think before you click. Just stop and think. Think before you click. BBS. Think before you click. If you can't confirm the source of the information, think before you click. When friends send news to your phone, check the source or leave it alone. Cause people creating fake news to deceive you and confuse. Alright yo, accident broadcast on WhatsApp. Check yourself, don't forward that. Have respect for the victim's family. You would not share family like that. Think before you click. Pigeons, think before you click. Don't forget now. Before you spread wrong information, think before you click. Just stop and think. Think before you click. Think before you click. If you can't confirm this. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
23 minutes now to the hour of 8 o'clock. I want to take a look at some children's rights right now at this time of year in particular, because children have needs, but there are also some very unscrupulous people who want to take advantage of those needs as well. Joining us as we take a look at that and a whole lot more, plus the upcoming charity event, is Faith Marshall-Harris, who is, as we know, an advocate for change in our way we treat our young people. Good morning to you, Faith, our youth advocate. Is Mrs. Marshall-Harris there with us? Or she'll join us in just a little while, but they're also, I must tell you, having a big event coming up of which you can be a part. It's going to be the charity sale, pots, plants, and a whole lot more happening on the 10th of December. That's this coming weekend at St. George, and it's going to be from 9 in the morning. A great opportunity for you to give. All the funds will be used to help the Faith Marshall-Harris Charitable Trust, indeed, and we can't wait to hear more about it and what will be on offer there as well. But as you know, this time of year, children are all over the place looking for this or for that, and sometimes they do what they think they need to do to get what they're looking for, and people want to take advantage of that, and that is what we want to seek to avoid as well. So as soon as Miss Marshall-Harris joins us, we'll be able to have that conversation about that and a whole lot more. But there you are, Faith Marshall-Harris. Good morning to you. Good morning, Mrs. Marshall-Harris. Or our technical crew will try to write out Mrs. Marshall-Harris. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ah, there you are. Good to see you, indeed. And I want to talk a little bit about, from your experience, what are some of the challenges that you see often happens at this time of year as relates to our young people and our children?
Well, I think the challenges are not any more pronounced at this time of year generally. Our main challenges are really not related to any seasonality. The reason, of course, that we pay some attention to this time of year is in a different direction, in that we try to make sure that children at least have an enjoyable season as far as possible, and where there are challenges, people like myself will try to see what we can do to make it enjoyable for them. There are many families with many children in them where they're going to be challenged this Christmas to put a really nice meal on the table. It's a bit of a despair to me how many there are in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And our charity tries to focus on those where there are many children in the family, many mouths to feed, and try to see if we can do at least something for some of those, what we would call the vulnerable families. But to answer your question, the challenges are pretty numerous through the rest of the year in another direction.
Yeah. Children have needs. They see bright things, shiny objects, and so they would want to have those shiny objects for Christmas. And oftentimes they find themselves negotiating in ways that are not always safe. How do we manage that at this time? The need of the child versus safe negotiations.
Well, you see, it's so much to do with parenting. I know that seems to be, to some people, a buzzword, and they've got pretty tired of hearing everybody going on and on about parenting. But I think that it is how a child is parented that they're able to negotiate that safely. First of all, they've got to be taught that not every want is important, that in fact their needs will be met, and not every shiny object can be bought because they are just limited resources. That's one of the first things children have to be taught. They've got to be content with what is affordable within the family. And one of the first things, of course, families have to do is to say, well, this is what we have got. We've got to think of next year. We've got to think of your back to school. All of these things. So within that context, we'll do what we can. And it is that message that children must learn. And as I said, let me go back to the parenting thing. I think that Barbados is desperately in need of, and I am fully anticipating that this will come pretty soon from all the indications I have, that we have a national parenting skills program where we spend a lot of time, because that's the source of it all, spend a lot of time with parents, not just new parents, all parents, saying, this is what you can do, this is how you can sort out this particular situation, this is how you can deal with this particular crisis. Our parents need help, and because they need a lot of help, our children are in need and they're facing many challenges. I am particularly concerned at this time about not this time meaning Christmas, but at this juncture of our time, or the post-COVID era. I don't know if it's post-COVID. The health persons will tell me that there's going to be no such thing as post-COVID, so I'll correct that. But now that we're out of lockdown, I should say, what we're seeing revealed is a lot of mental health challenges, especially among adolescents. We're hearing of a lot of suicidal ideation. It's very disturbing because, of course, at that juncture of their lives, they probably missed the socialization that they would normally have, and for adolescents, this is all important. The younger children, less so, but we're seeing a lot of self-harm, and it seems as if we're going to have in our parenting skills program that I'm hoping comes to being very soon. We're going to focus on the question of dealing with that period of transition that adolescents go through. I think that we haven't done enough in that sphere so far.
Work has to continue indeed. And so I know the work of your trust as well is to be able to supply the needs as you see fit. Now you're having upcoming a charitable event. I want you to spend some time talking to us about it. When is it? Where is it? How can we give to it?
Right. This event we try to do occasionally. This is the first time we've actually done it as a Christmas sale. but we have had 2 other sales in the past before the COVID pandemic. But of course, all that was suspended during COVID. And basically, well, I do a lot with plants. I'm a plant lover. I propagate plants. I collect plants. I'm all, plants are very big with me. In fact,
Yes.
I have 2 sets of children. The children that I look after in the helpline, and then plants as children. Because they're very related. It's a related exercise. It's all about seeing them grow, nurturing, developing, and see them develop wonderfully. So I think the 2 are related exercises, as a result of which I end up with usually a great supply of surplus of plants all the time.
Yes.
And so every now and then, I just sell them all off and start again. And that is the focus of the sale this 10th of December. Well, I do have a lot of pots because I do also collect pots of all kinds and designs and so on, and which go with the plants. And so I am going to sell off my pots, my plants, and anything else that comes to mind, just to raise funds so that at least 50 families where there are a number of children, to give them something a little special for Christmas. So that's what we're doing on the 10th of December. We get lots of people who come, not necessarily just to buy plants, but they come because they want to make a donation. The bonuses that they go away with a good plant. I also like to know that my plants are going to good homes. So that is a focus of what it is.
Right.
And I also want to make people very conscious, and this is why it's a plant sale, of the environment, because again, this is working for our children, making sure that we keep Barbados as green as possible. I also have trees because I also make sure that I dig up saplings and have trees as well. And because I, again, believe in planting trees, last year on World Children's Day, we planted 3 Jamaican ackee trees that I had donated with children. And this is for with children in mind again. This is a relationship here.
Yes.
Because if we do more of that, then our children will inherit a better Barbados. And that's the whole point.
Absolutely. So this event is on Saturday. Folks, it's this Saturday, the 10th of December, from 9 in the morning until it's all sold out. Pots, plants, and much more. The saplings, everything else will be on sale at number 5A Brighton Close in St. George. And of course, all proceeds from the sale will be in aid of the Faith Marshall Harris Sandy Lane Trust Charitable Trust Helpline to provide vulnerable children and their families with a Christmas blessing. If you need more information, you can call 435 1382 435-1382 to get more details. Faith Marshall Harris, I want to thank you so much. I know the time is brief, so I have to rush, but thank you so much for joining us this morning, and I hope that before Christmas we can have another chance to talk more about the work that your helpline is doing and the ways that we can really reach out to help more children at this particular time of year. But thank you very much. I wish you the best.
For the opportunity. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to tell people about the charity sale, and I would even more welcome telling you more about what I think our children should need and what we should be focusing on for the new year.
Fantastic. That's a deal. My producer will contact you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take a break here in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Think before you click. Pigeons, think before you click. Don't forget now. Before you spread wrong information, think before you click. Just stop and think. Think before you click. BBS. Think before you click. If you can't confirm the source of the information, think before you click. When friends send news to your phone, check the source or leave it alone. Cause people creating fake news to deceive you and confuse. Alright yo, accident broadcast on WhatsApp. Check yourself. yourself, don't forward that. Have respect for the victim's family. You would not share family like that. Think before you click. Agents, think before you click. Don't forget now. Before you spread wrong information, think before you click. Just stop and think before you click. Think before you click. If you can't confirm the source of the information, think before you click.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's now to go to 8 o'clock. Still to come, the What You Can Give Me for Christmas, the call will be coming. So Carolyn Pilgrim is our food technologist. She joins us now. Carolyn, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm well, thanks. You zippity doo that. Look at that. Look at that. You have your picture in the back. I love it. Now, your floral arrangement. Beautiful indeed.
Yes,
Now,
my
we're going
mom
to
did that.
swiftly go through this, Carolyn. I hope you don't mind. But we're
No
looking
problem.
at staff functions and group gatherings that are going to be happening at this time of year. And we have to be very careful about how we consume and who prepares. Let's talk a little bit about what are some of the things we need to be mindful of at this time of year with the parties and the celebrations.
Yes, so I wanted to talk about this because it's a festive time and a lot of people are going to be having staff functions, or you belong to a charity or some group, everybody's having a party. But this is the high season, or it's said to be the high season for gastro. This is per a Ministry of Health study that was done some years ago, and they found a correlation between this time of the year and gastro. So people need to be extremely cautious, because if it's a high time for gastro, and it's also a time where a lot of people are having parties and potlucks, it can be a recipe for a disaster. So, especially people that are elderly, which should be over 65, young children, immunocompromised people, and pregnant women need to be especially careful.
You make it sound as if you should eat before you go. So but we're going to go. So once we're there, what are some of the things I need to be mindful of?
Okay, so as a consumer, you should be mindful of your food handler. A lot of times it's something that's going to be served. This is for a catered one. So be mindful of the food handler. Be mindful of if they appear ill. Be mindful of their food handling techniques, how they're handling the food and the tongues and everything. Be careful with high-risk foods, which unfortunately will be a lot of the things that will be on display, but things like raw salads, meats and rice and cooked rice and pasta, all those kinds of things that don't have fully cooked eggs, like hollandaise sauce and stuff like that. Just need to be mindful that those things are high risk. So for me, for example, I don't eat raw salads. Oftentimes, if I go to something that's catered, I may have the cooked salad, I may not have the raw salads, and I'm careful with my meats and so on. Because again, you're eating food that you're trusting that it was prepared properly, but you still need to be mindful because you really have no idea how it was prepared. So I'm not saying don't eat anything, but just be mindful of the risks associated with certain things.
So check the servers, see whether or not they have the hairnet on, they're using the implements very correctly indeed, and the raw salads and those kinds of things. Be mindful of, but that foods are also served at correct temperatures. Because oftentimes we tend to think, man, some heat would kill whatever germs in it. What are you worrying about, girl? But that's not always the case, is it?
No, it's not always the case. Cooking will kill a lot of or most of the food pathogens that we're mindful of, but some of them can survive cooking. And importantly, those ones that can survive cooking all often produce toxins. So even though, you reheat the food after, the toxin might be still very, very much active and can make you ill. So, for example, if you have something like a Bacillus cereus in rice that was cooked and wasn't stored properly before serving, and it was stored for a long time at the incorrect temperature, you can get Bacillus cereus toxin in that rice. So the rice looks normal, it may taste fine, but then you could have, an intoxication that can make you ill a couple hours later.
Jeez, Albert, I feel like staying home.
No, don't stay home. I don't want to dampen, the festive season. I just want people to be mindful and wash your hands before you eat, or use sanitizer. But I personally, if there's a bathroom nearby, I will wash my hands with soap and water. That's the ideal. People kind of rely on sanitizers a bit much now with COVID, but be mindful that they have their limitations. If your hands are heavily soiled, or if, as women, we keep our hands very moisturized with our lotions, and so the sanitizer will not work as well if your hands are greasy. So it's always better to wash your hands with soap and water if, running water and soap are available to you.
So many things to look out for over the holiday season. So we have days still to go, so we're going to check in again with you, Carolyn, to make sure that we do the right things to avoid gastroenteritis and other foodborne diseases that could happen at this time, since big parties are going to be happening on, and we love to get out there and be a part of it. But certainly we'll be connecting with you a little later on as well. Thank you so much, Carolyn.
You're welcome.
You're welcome indeed. Carolyn Pilgrim, our food technologist, reminding us of a few things we need to be mindful of as we get ready for these Christmas parties, whether it's an office party, the potlucks, even if you're visiting family and friends, things that we need to be mindful of. All right, before the time gets away from me, it's 5 minutes now to go to the hour of 8 o'clock. What are you going to give me for Christmas? That is what we're going to be doing right now. So if you've entered, I trust you have your cell phone on. And if you've entered, I trust you will answer your cell phone as well, or your landline. Depends what number you've given. But here we go. We're going to give a chance to someone now to answer the phone correctly and get a chance to win this morning. Big thanks to our supporters and sponsors: Purity Bakeries, Farmer's Choice, Jordan's Supermarket, 365 Detox, Promo Tech, Berger Color Shop, Chickmont Foods Limited, Saul, Willie and Warrens, Axel Finance, Impact Coaching, the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, the Kingsley Store, and Sunshine Snacks. So who are we calling? Let's see if we get somebody on the phone right now. Answer right, and we are right. We are good to go. So let's see if we can answer correctly. The phone is ringing. Shh.
Hello, morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Is Dennis there?
Hold on. Oh.
Dennis taking real long. Dennis, come to the phone. Dennis outside. Come, Dennis. She said somebody want you. Somebody want you. Come, Dennis. Come, Dennis. Dennis, how are you?
Yeah, not bad.
We're calling from CBC, and Dennis, you did not answer the phone. We maybe wanted you to answer the phone. Dennis?
Hello? My wife had me the phone. And
I should tell you.
She has said nothing. She just asked.
Not a word. That is your wife for you. But Dennis, I'm sorry, I can't give it to you, but thank you so much for answering the phone nonetheless. All right, have a good day. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's try. Can we try one more, please? Quickly before the time gets away from us. Let's go. Now you have to answer the phone, and you have to answer the phone with correct. Once you answer it correctly, then you are a winner. Got something really nice to give to you today. This really nice gift for Christmas. So let's see. Let's see if this one gets it right. Who shall this be? Team, who shall this be?
Honey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
May I speak to Cynthia?
What are you going to give me for Christmas?
Cynthia!
What are you going to give me for Christmas, Mr. Boy?
Cynthia, your double take can't work. Cynthia, how are you supposed to answer your phone?
What are you going to give me for Christmas?
And why did you say hello?
Call first. I didn't think that after I heard your voice.
It didn't work so, Cynthia.
Okay.
Whoever is calling you, whether it's your priest, your pastor, your sister, you are to answer the phone with, what are you going to give me for Christmas? And then you have your conversation. But because you turned it around, I can't give it to you, Cynthia.
Okay. No problem.
She's on, brothers. Bye-bye. Here, have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, you too.
Cynthia. This is where she tapped that hard. Can we try one more? Let me see the same. Tamisha will understand. Tamisha will definitely understand. Let's see if we get this other person now. She's on, brothers. Folks, answer the phone correctly now. I have something to give to you. So let's see. Tum-ta-dum-tum-tum. Quickly answer the phone. Quickly answer your phone. If it's like rain at your house or your place, answer the phone.
What did they give me for Christmas?
Hello? Who's this?
This is Marvel Moore.
What's your first name?
Pardon me?
What's your first name?
Marvel.
Marvel.
M-A-R-V-E-L-L-E.
Marvel, why did you answer your phone that way? Why did you answer the phone that way?
Oh, because I sent everything with CBC, so they say whenever it comes, you said, what you going to give me for Christmas?
So every time the phone rings, that's the way you answer?
I said morning. I then even said morning.
But why do you answer the phone this way this time?
Oh, sorry about that.
Marvel, don't get scared. You answered correctly. You did very well. This is Pearson Boyne from CBC, and I want to thank you for answering your phone in the way that you have, Marvel. You stay on the line. We'll take some more details from you, but someone from our marketing department will call you to let you know that you've won today a $100 voucher, compliments of Chickmont Foods. They do chicken, girl. Yeah.
Thank
So
you
Marvel,
very much.
congratulations. All right, so a call will come to you later on to make arrangements with you, okay?
Oh, the person will call me. I have to call.
No, somebody will call you.
Okay, thank you very much. But sorry
Marvel,
about
you're
that.
welcome.
Dear. I did hear talk your voices this, you know, when I see this, I get so excited. I tell her, go off the phone, I put him with this thing, so let me call. But sorry about that, dear. I usually say morning first, and they talk.
Well done, Marvel. Thank you so much. Have a good morning, okay? Merry Christmas
thank
to you.
you very much.
All right, good girl.
Okay.
Love it. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much. The crew thanks you, too. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados. Good